Hello everyone. Welcome to Algebra Practice. We're going to be doing this worksheet today together. Let's get started. The first one says solve the following algebra problems. I'm going to write it a little bit larger so everybody can see. We have x plus 5 equals 12. Now the whole purpose of algebra is we want to solve for x. We want to get x by itself. I have a plus 5 here, and I want to get rid of that. So what's the opposite of adding 5? Subtracting 5, you're right. But if I subtract 5 from one side of the equal sign, I have to do it to the other side. So we're going to have x equals 8. And you did it. But we always want to check. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. X plus 5 equals 12. I like to put a parentheses wherever my variable is, because that's where I'm going to put my answer, what I think my answer is. 8. Well, 8 plus 5 is 12, and yeah, we did it. Cool. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to try to fix my focus here. Okay. And hopefully we'll be okay. All right, let's try the next one. We have 2y equals 16. I'm going to rewrite that. 2y equals 16. Now with this one, I want to get my variable by itself, which is y. But anytime I have a number and a letter next to each other, that means to multiply. And what's the opposite of multiplying? Yep, dividing. I'm going to divide by whatever is hooked to my variable. And in this case, it's a 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Well, 16 divided by 2 is 8. And by the way, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we did it. But you know what? Let's check it. So I like to rewrite my equation and put a parentheses wherever my variable is. And in this case, my variable is 8. I'm going to put an 8 in there. 2 times 8 is 16. We have 16 equals 16. Yeah, we did that one right too. Cool. Let's look at the next one. The next one is x minus 7. So I'm going to write that out. X minus 7 equals 3. Now I want to get my variable by itself. So what is the opposite of subtracting 7? Adding 7. You are correct. That means I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So x equals 10. But we want to check it. Now I'm going to rewrite my original equation. X minus 7 equals 3. I'm going to put a parentheses wherever my variable is. And then I'm going to put what my answer is into that variable. I'm going to put 10 here. 10 minus 7 is 3. And look at that. We did it. Okay. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Let's look at the last one on the page. We have 3y plus 6 equals 15. Now, we're going to have to do a couple things. First, I want to get my variable by itself. And even though it's hooked to something, it's okay. I look here. What's the opposite of adding 6? Yeah, subtracting 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides of my equal sign. That gives me 3y equals 9. But I'm not done yet, right? Because I don't have y equal to something. I look here and I realize that when I have a number and a letter next to each other, it means to multiply. And what's the opposite of multiplying? Yeah, we're going to divide. When I divide, I have y. Now remember, 3 over 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. All right, well, let's check it. I'm going to rewrite my problem. I'm going to put a parentheses around my variable. We think our answer is 3, and so that's what I'm going to put in here. 3 times 3 is 9, and I rewrite the rest. All right. 9 plus 6 is 15, and would you look at that? We did that one correct too. Cool. All right, let's go to the second page. I'm just going to remove this one. If I haven't thanked you from coming today, thank you for coming. That's really awesome that you could join me. Let me see if I can fix Hopefully that'll help us. I'm a little new going live, so hopefully you will bear with me for a moment. All right. So number 5 says x over 4 equals 5. Now there's a couple ways we could do this. The first way is we could just multiply both sides by our denominator. Okay? Because what's going to happen is those are going to cancel and we end up with x equals 20. And I'm going to show you that works here in a second. The other way we could do it is called cross multiplication. And how that works is, since I have a whole number, I'm just going to write it over 1. We could say an integer 2. Then when I cross multiply, I have 1 times x equals 4 times 5. 1 times x is x. 4 times 5 is 20. So it's really up to you or however your instructor or teacher tells you to do it. But let's check it. So I have parentheses over 4 equals 5. Well, we think our answer is 20. Well, 20 over 4 is 5. Yay! We did that one correct too. That's pretty cool. Let's look at the next one. We have 4y minus 8 equals 20. All right. Well, we have a couple things going on here. Remember, we want to get the variable, and it doesn't matter if it's hooked to something right now. We want to get that by itself. So I'm looking here. What's the opposite of subtracting 8? Yeah, adding 8. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Okay. Now I really want to get y by itself. I don't want 4y, I want y. Whenever I have a number next to a letter, it means to multiply. And the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And that means y equals 7. Because 28 over 4 is 7. Let's check it. Now I'm going to rewrite this one. I haven't been doing a good job at rewriting it before I put my parentheses in there. And now I'm going to put my parentheses. Okay, we think our answer is 7, and I'm going to put a 7 in there. 4 times 7 is 28 minus 8. And guess what? 28 minus 8 is 20. All right. Okay, great. Now what I want, sorry, we're going to do the next one together. So I'm going to rewrite it here. 2 times parentheses x plus 3 equals 14. Now when I have a parentheses, we're going to use the distributive property. That means I'm going to take 2 times x and 2 times 3. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 times x plus 2 times 3 equals 14. Sorry about the dog, she's just excited. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6 equals 14. Now, this one looks very similar to the other ones we've been doing. I'm going to write that here. 2x plus 6 equals 14. Remember, I want to get 2x by itself. What's the opposite of adding 6? Subtracting 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides of the equal sign. Now, I do want to mention that you want to do it to both sides of the equal sign. You want to write it out, and you want to either make 2 lines or 1 line, okay? You want to do that because when I go back to check, for instance, let's go right back up here. If I didn't write this line, I couldn't figure out where I was adding, yeah, trust me, it's going to help you, okay? So 2x equals 14 minus 6 is 8. All right. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We are correct. Now I want to get x by itself. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. I'm going to divide by 2. And x equals 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now let's check it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my equation. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a parentheses everywhere I have a variable. Now I think my answer is 4. Okay, so we're going to put 4 in here. Now orders of operations say I have to do what's in parentheses first. 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. And would you look at that? We did that one correct too. All right. What I would like you to do, I'm going to move this a little bit. I would like you to try this one by yourself. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. I'm going to check to see if I have any questions or comments in the comment section. And then when everybody says they're ready or close to ready, we're going to work it. Excuse me. Sorry, everyone. I don't know how to mute yet. Okay, I don't see any comments or questions, and sadly, I have nobody yet, but hopefully, if people watch this, you see how cool this is. Let's do the next one. I'm going to write it out. 5 times 1, y minus 2 equals 25. Now, once again, I have the distributive property. And I should have mentioned, well, how do I know that? It's because I have a 5 next to a parentheses. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move over my screen here, is, okay, just making some adjustments. Sorry about that. Remember, if I have 5 and something in parentheses, that means to multiply, correct? So we would say that's 10. Now, it's the same thing that's happening here. I have 5 next to a parentheses. And in this case, we have two things we have to distribute. And so I'm going to take 5 times y minus 5 times 2 equals 25. Now, when you get really good at this, you don't have to write this multiplication out. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm doing, okay? So 5 times y is 5y minus 5 times 2 is 10 equals 25. All right, let's rewrite that up here. Okay, now I want to get 5y by itself to start with. What's the opposite of subtracting 10? We're going to add 10. Notice I'm making my lines there so I can follow if I have a mistake. I'm going to have 5y. Now I want you to notice that right here, negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Okay, and I don't have to write 0. Equals 25 plus 10 is 35. Now I really want to get y by itself. Remember, anytime we have a number next to a letter, means to multiply. The opposite of multiplying, of course, is dividing. Hopefully you have that one under control. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we end up with y. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Now I want to make a little comment right here. Some students will write 5y divided by 5y. We're not doing that because remember, I'm going to put that right here. 5y divided by 5y is 1, but we don't want that. We want y. And that's why we divided by 5. That's kind of funny. That's why y. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and that's how we end up with just y. Now we think our answer is 7. All right. I'm running out of space here, but we're going to make it fit. 5 parentheses y minus 2 equals 25. 5. Now remember, I like to do this. I think it's a great recommendation that you put a parentheses around your variables. All right, now we think our answer is 7, so I'm going to put a 7 in there. Orders of operations say I have to do what's in parentheses first. So 7 minus 2 is 5. It's 25. Look at that. 25 equals 25. Yay, we did it. I'm running out of room here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another piece of paper, and I'm going to write the equation here. 3x plus 4 equals 21. And I'm going to bring this up for us. Okay. I'm going to use the distributive property again. So I'm going to take 3 times x and 3 times 4. I'm going to write that out for everyone who doesn't quite get it yet. And then 3 times 4, 21. Okay, cool. 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 4 is 12. Cool. Now I want to get this by itself. Subtract 12 from both sides. We have 3x equals 9. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, we're not done because we don't have x equal to something. I have to divide by 3. Now, why am I dividing by 3? Because 3 over 3 is 1, and that leaves us with our x. The other thing to remember is it doesn't matter what we have next to the variable. It looks like most of ours have been positive. It could be a negative, and then we just divide by the negative. All right, I'm going to bring this up a little bit, and that equals 3. All right, I'm going to rewrite my equation. Okay, so 3 times x plus 4 equals 21. I'm good. Now I'm checking it. So 3, I'm going to put a parentheses every place I have a variable. In this case, just one place. We think x is 3, so I'm going to put 3 in there. Now remember, orders of operations say I have to do what's in parentheses first. So 3 plus 4 is 7. And guess what? 21 equals 21. Yay, we did it. We're doing great so far. I'd ask if there's any questions, but right now I don't have anybody watching. Hopefully, if you're rewatching this at a future date, you see how cool this is and that I'm pretty cool. And you'll join me next time. We have one more question to do. I'm going to remove this page. All right. All right. So I have, I'm going to write it out here so everybody can see it. 6 times y minus 1 plus 4 equals 22. Ooh, this one's going to be a little interesting. Here's the deal. I still have a number next to a parentheses. So that still means I'm going to multiply. Actually, use a distributive property. So I'm going to take 6 times y. Now 6 times y is 6y. One moment here. Okay. I'm going to take 6 times negative 1, which is negative 6. And then I'm going to rewrite everything else. All right. Now, I like to collect like terms. You don't have to. You can start subtracting and adding everything, but it's going to make our lives easier. And I noticed that I have like terms right here. So negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. We'll have 6y minus 2 equals 22. Okay, now it looks just like the ones we've been doing. I want to get this guy by himself. The opposite of subtracting is adding. Great. 6y equals 24. Okay, but we don't want 6y. We want y, right? So I'm going to divide by 6. Okay, so y equals 4. Well, we think it does. We have to check it. So let's do that. I'm going to rewrite my equation. All right, then I'm going to rewrite it, but this time I'm going to put a parentheses for my variable. Okay, now we think our answer is 4. All right, so let's put 4 in there. 6 times, now orders of operations say we have to do what's in parentheses first. So 4 minus 1 is 3 equals 22. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 4. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We did it. Good job. Now I want to look back at this for just a second. I'm going to rewrite it again. 1 plus 4 equals 22. Some of you may be thinking, well, Kathryn, why didn't you subtract 4 first? Actually, that's totally legal. We could do that. And let me show you how that works. It's going to give us one extra step, but it's okay. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, we're going to end up with 6. Y minus 1 equals 18. All right. We still have to do the distributive property. And by the way, we're going to get the same answer. It's okay. I'm going to take 6 times y. 6 times y is 6y. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6 equals 18. All right. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6y equals 24. And would you look at that? Where am I? There we are. It's exactly the same. Okay. So it really doesn't matter how you solve it as long as you use what I like to call legal. I think this one is a little bit easier. You know, we just collect like terms. But like I said, this is totally legal too. All right. So my name is Kathryn. And I'm very happy you have joined me today. I hope you will join me in a live version where we go through a different worksheet. If you have a recommendation for a worksheet, please let me know. My email is Kathryn@mathhub.club. Okay, little k, big K, doesn't matter. Let me go like that. Kathryn@mathhub.club. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today. And I hope you have a really, really great day. Bye-bye.